Hi, welcome to another presentation over our textbook. This one is obviously about Chapter 2 in the Essentials of Health Behavior book. So basically, this chapter covers three things: obesity, youth violence, and HIV. Obviously, there are many, many more problems out in the world, but it just takes a look at these. And again, try to look at these through the lens of the ecological model, and we'll cover that here in just a minute as we go through. So starting off with obesity, there's been a huge spike over the past 30 years, with now 2/3 of adults being either overweight or obese, and a third of them being obese. And also, I believe the book said a 5 times more youth are obese than ever before. So again, this isn't, the genetics of America didn't change. This is most perceived as a behavioral issue. And that moves on to our next bullet point, where traditionally interventions were solely focused on changing individual behavior. However, over the past few years, that approach has changed. And now they're looking at it through more of the lens of the ecological model, saying it's not just individual behavior, it's accessibility to food. It's what are they teaching in schools about food? Are there places to walk? Are there, is it safe to walk? Are there sidewalks? So again, looking at obesity and physical fitness as two pieces, diet and exercise, they're two things you have to address. And just telling people to eat better isn't always enough when they don't have the resources and knowledge available to do those things. If you have a bike but you can't ride anywhere because you're surrounded by 4-lane highways, if you tell kids to go play, but there aren't any parks because we've built giant sports complexes on the edge of town. In fact, our society has changed where you actually have to drive to go exercise, which is, well, just silly. And so, again, personally, I think built environment is a huge piece of what's wrong with obesity, but I'll talk about that on the discussion board and not today. So again, looking through obesity as you read through it and think of it, what are all the different things we have to change? It isn't just one thing. There are many things that have to change. Many things have changed to get us to where we're at, and many things have to change to move us forward. The next piece is about youth violence. Now, if you're new to public health, thinking of violence as a public health issue may seem a little strange. But in fact, there are a few things kind of housed inside of public health, such as suicide prevention, domestic violence, gambling, all kind of not traditional maybe health things, but use the same type of interventions that we use in public health and are housed actually at the state health department. So again, youth violence, again, it isn't just one thing. It isn't just kids trying to look cool or fit in. It isn't just poverty and socioeconomic status. And it isn't just some of these other things that your book covers. So again, the three items: self-concept, socio-economical, the SDS, and the social cognitive, which is basically how students fit in with other people. In fact, you'll see some of these advertisements that really focus on that last one, the social cognitive piece, such as 80% of teens didn't get drunk this year, something like that, where basically saying, oh, it is the normal thing not to have these behaviors and not abnormal. So that helps people feel better about making the right choice. And then finally, the chapter goes over HIV/AIDS very, very briefly. Again, it started off in the 80s and 90s as this basically a death sentence that it was, passed among men who have sex with men. And then over the time, again, in the U.S., it switched more to injection drug users, plus men who have sex with men, plus members of the heterosexual population, particularly Black women. So again, you have shifting audiences with high prevalence rates. Your intervention is going to change. And of course, it's going to be twofold now. It's going to be prevention, and it's also going to be treatment and awareness. Because now people who are treated early on can live 40, 50 years with the disease. So again, a huge shift from where we were 20, 25 years ago. But again, what that looks like here may look different around the world. In fact, the book goes over several bullet points of what that looks like in different places around the world And again, different audience, different behavior means different levels of intervention. So again, with any problem, going back to the ecological model, you can't strike it from just one, there isn't one thing to do. You can't just build bike trails to solve obesity. You need to impact everything from individual behavior to school lunch to, making bike bridges over the highway so kids can ride their bike around town. So that's it for the lecture for chapter 2. Again, it's a pretty light chapter. Again, the homework, same as last time. You have your resumes that are due as part of Module 1, your ecological model graphic, and again, that is described in the Module 1 homework. Again, this one kind of talks about obesity. If obesity is what you're into, that's great. I would like to see you just not copy it out of the book if that's your topic, though. Maybe break it up to physical activity or diet. For the discussion board, again, week 1 is about your career discussion. Hopefully you've done that if you're watching this video. And this week is about obesity and basically saying, what do you think is the one most important thing? Now, my most important thing is built environment, and I'll talk about that on the board a little. But think to yourself, what is the single most important thing you think there is to do, and why? We should maybe do that maybe first among other things. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon on the board.